I'll be home for Christmas. You can plan on me. Please have snow and mistletoe and presents by the tree. Oh, there's no place like home for the holidays, 'cause no matter how far you roam, when you pine for the sunshine of a friendly gaze, for the holidays, you can't beat home, sweet home. Choirs will be singing Silent Night, Christmas carols by candlelight. Please come home for Christmas. Please come home for Christmas. If not Christmas, by New Year's night. It's in the Christmas music. It's in the Christmas movies.
No, wait. This is Christmas! The season of perpetual hope.
Ma'am,
And I don't care if I have to get out on your runway and hitchhike. If it costs me everything I own. If I have to sell my soul to the devil himself. I am going to get home to my son.
Join Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
Hi, Santa Claus.
For the ultimate Christmas feeling.
Uh-oh.
Oh boy, wet lap, wet lap.
Disney's I'll Be Home for Christmas.
Christmas is about going back to where you're from, seeing your family, being with the ones you love. For a lot of people, this is their favorite thing about the holidays. Opening gifts with the family.
Thanks, Dad.
that's okay.
Having that big Christmas meal, doing laundry without having to find quarters. But for a lot of people, the thought of going home for the holidays can cause a lot of stress, especially if you no longer hold the same religious or political beliefs as your family.
You just spent 30 minutes talking about the deep state. You don't have an opinion on your own family?
None of my business.
Hey everybody, thank you so much for liking and subscribing and commenting. I hope this video helps you get through your holiday season a little easier, and I put the links down below for our social media as well as the Patreon. And if you want to support us there, that's always very appreciated. Thank you. I want to start off by saying that I really love my family, and a lot of them have been super supportive and amazing this year, even though they don't necessarily agree with what I'm putting out there into the world. And I'm so thankful for them. I remember when I was still going to church and everybody was filing out of a very packed Christmas Eve service, and I heard somebody behind me say that Christmas was all about chocolate. I turned around and I was like, "Excuse me, you think that Christmas is all about chocolate?" And she looked a little embarrassed and started to backpedal, thinking she was going to get a lecture about the manger and whatnot. And I said, "Easter is all about chocolate. Christmas is all about presents."
Gimme, gimme, gimme. Gimme, gimme, gimme. I want my present.
But Christmas is also about love and getting together with those you love.
This holiday is about humanity.
You know, I thought it was about being born half God or something.
And yeah, being born half God or something. But sometimes those people you love are your family. And sometimes family can be a lot. Because family isn't always that great at keeping their mouths shut.
Mary, traffic was awful.
3 hours!
Whoa, you gained weight.
Whether it's about your looks,
Merry Christmas!
Oh my God, you look so big.
No.
Oh.
No, what I meant to say.
I look really
you
big.
look great. She looks beautiful.
I can't believe it's true.
It went right. Better than that.
Okay, all right.
I don't think you can get whiter.
Translucent?
Yeah. You know what? I'm happy to sacrifice myself so we can all bond.
your career choice,
No, she's wasting her life, which only a miracle save her.
Wasting my life, thanks.
your choice in partner,
Could you not slip a muzzle on your woman, please, Mark?
I notice I'm not saying anything. Still not saying anything?
or in my case, lack of partner, or you know, who you are.
Well, I just mean the gay thing. You know, I mean, there's no irrefutable evidence one way or the other. And yes, they think they've isolated a gene, but what does that mean? They don't know what it's for or what it does.
Didn't they determine it's for window treatments?
And you know there is that one person who always sticks their foot in their mouth. It makes the whole thing awkward for everyone.
Josh, it's not boring at all.
What?
And don't worry, your Christian family members have figured out how to circumvent that whole judge not thing.
You know that saying, judge not lest you be judged?
Uh-huh.
I think it may have been Jesus Christ of Nazareth, I'm not sure.
I think that's correct. Of Nazareth, not the other one.
Yeah, not Jesus H. Christ.
Wait a second, didn't Jesus say to a judge not? Oh, indeed he did, but we need to take a look at the entire context of that command. Here it is.
I don't mean to be a rude, crude dude with a toot here, but I don't like this Todd Friel character one bit.
It says, judge not until you looked at yourself first, your sin, the sin in your own life, that blank that is in your own eye. And then if you fix that first, if you remove it, Then you'll be able to clearly see what's going on in the other person's life.
They both did the same thing. The Bible says not to point out the speck in your neighbor's eye without removing the plank from your eye, which to most people would mean shut the F up. But when you want to judge, you find a way.
And you need to know there's a huge difference between judging someone religiously, oh, you shouldn't do this, and yeah, no. Between that and helping someone through the Holy Spirit.
And no, in my experience, there's not much of a difference between these two things. So you either sit there awkwardly as you get judged, or the classic family fight breaks out.
I worked too hard to deal with this stuff. I worked too hard. I am a division manager in charge of 29 people. I drive a Dodge Stratus.
And when the topic isn't about you losing your job or how someone just noticed your head is a weird shape, it can switch to some classic religious conservative talking points, like whether or not you can say Merry Christmas.
You can't even say Merry Christmas anymore. You gotta say, hey, baby Jesus, you wanna do Pilates?
Like Donald Trump saying he will bring back the term Merry Christmas. This as the First Family releases its annual Christmas card, wishing Americans a happy holiday. That's the 8th straight year.
As an atheist listening to this telecast, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness will not be in danger in any way if someone says Merry Christmas around you. Someone will argue, well, it's a Christian prayer. Yes, it is.
Is it? Is it a Christian prayer to say Merry Christmas?
First of all, let's start with this. Where did this come from that you're not allowed to say, or you're insensitive if you say Merry Christmas? When did this start and where did it come from?
Well, it's Marxism, right? It's political correctness. It's newspeak. It's George Orwell. It's not being allowed to say things that they don't want you to say. It's basically the elimination of God, if you will.
That's true. Okay.
In place of the universal Merry Christmas of my youth, in recent decades I have been wished happy holidays by every waiter and waitress in every restaurant I have dined, by everyone who welcomes me at any business, by my flight attendants and pilots, and by just about everyone else.
This is the worst kind of discrimination, the kind against me.
When I respond, thank you, Merry Christmas, I often sense that I've actually created some tension. Many of those I wish Merry Christmas are probably relieved to hear someone who feels free to utter the C word.
Mom, I'm right in the middle of something. Get rid of the C word.
I'll leave when I'm good and ready.
He said, I often sense and probably relieved because these are made-up reactions in his head to a non-event. Nobody cares besides these people. Nobody in the history of ever has been upset by someone wishing them a Merry Christmas.
Well, Merry Christmas.
Happy holidays.
I said Merry Christmas.
Happy holidays.
Just say Merry Christmas.
Management doesn't want us saying that.
Just say it!
When I go shopping and somebody says Happy Holidays to me, I say Merry Christmas loud. But I hear other people do that in line ahead of me as well. I think people are just tired of it.
Why would you say something so controversial yet so brave?
This is a cartoon from 1940 called Happy Holidays. Bing Crosby recorded the song Happy Holiday in 1943. And this is an eggnog commercial from the 1950s that talks about a holiday party.
Surprise. Hey, look, there's a snowman ringing our doorbell. And Elsie says, that's no snowman. It's Elmer with a surprise. Borden's Eggnog, the extra special holiday drink.
None of this is new. And if anyone is suddenly offended, it's these guys.
We don't say happy holidays for Valentine's Day, and arguably February is the month with the most holidays. So why aren't we saying happy holidays during February?
Or the offshoot of this, those stubborn religious family members who loudly talk about there not being a Santa Claus, whether or not your kids or your nieces and nephews are right there.
He basically is a fantasy, not true, a lie. There are no flying reindeer, there is no sleigh, he doesn't come down your chimney, he doesn't leave you anything.
I like how he's arguing like a man who is in a debate with another grown-up who actually believes in Santa Claus. I mean, if you just look at the evidence, it's up to us to put the presents under the tree, and it's usually me who eats the cookies and milk.
I wouldn't drink unrefrigerated dairy if I were you, unless diarrhea is on your Christmas list.
This bizarre kind of fantasy has somehow laid itself on top of the celebration of the birth of the Lord Jesus Christ, the most profound event that ever happened in human history, when God came in and he has to share it with this crazy, non-existent guy named Santa Claus.
Maybe because Santa Claus is a lot more fun than a teenage girl giving birth in a barn?
Hi, we need a place for my 12-year-old wife here to give birth.
Oh, well, this hotel motel is filled with diapers and rotten dates because that's my community and how I live, but you can use the barn in the back.
A man with a giant sign screaming that Santa isn't real while kids waited in line to see him.
It's a lie. It's deception.
Don't tell him what you want. He's a liar.
Now, I have actually heard from some people who were taught about Santa as a child, and then they grew up and they heard no such thing as Santa Claus, and they asked parents the question, anything else you've been lying to me about?
Like a virgin birth, perhaps?
We Christians should be above board.
Yeah, this is the last year Dewey will believe in Santa Claus.
What?
But here's the deal. In order for our children to believe in Santa Claus, they would also have to believe that Santa Claus lives in the North Pole for at least the last 1,000 years. So Santa is eternal, and he delivers gifts to all the children in the world on December 24th. So Santa is near omnipresent. He knows every child by name and knows whether they've been naughty or nice. So Santa is all-knowing, and he himself must be fully good. And lastly, Santa enables his reindeer to fly, so he must be all-powerful. Now, these are just a few of the examples our kids would need to believe.
No, they don't have to believe any of that stuff because they are children. You moron. They believe you write a letter to an old man, and then they get a GT snow racer, or whatever kids like.
I have been extra good this year, so I have a long list of presents that I want. Oh, brother.
And as it turns out, Santa Claus is not just a single little white lie, it's one lie after another. And the more questions our kids would inevitably ask, the more lies we would need to tell them to maintain the first.
They're so close.
You sit on a throne of lies.
That Jesus should be the entire center of all of our celebrations and not a distraction about Santa Claus. Let's just say that it was your birthday, and people were coming to celebrate your birthday, but they gave an awful lot of attention to your brother. How would you, hello, my birthday. And guess who has the right to go, hello, my birthday more than any of us? Jesus Christ himself.
So Jesus is like those kids on my Super Sweet 16?
You are ruining my party, and you are ruining my life.
Just Santa Claus isn't real, and he can't get you past the pearly gates. I'm sorry to break this to you in case you believe in Santa Claus today.
Again, another grown man who doesn't understand that Santa is a fun thing because people like fun things, and Christmas time is supposed to be a fun time. Or if it's not the war on Christmas or Santa Claus's existence, the conversation can steer towards politics.
Why do I have to take it off?
It's my dinner table in front of my kids.
No, you're racist against whites. You're racist against whites.
She is.
You were just complimenting your aunt on her amazing cranberry sauce, and she was explaining that it is obviously from a can and it's shaped like a can. And then all of a sudden, the conversation switches to something like critical race theory.
This is a school board meeting in a suburb of Philadelphia, where a small group of very vocal parents are speaking out against critical race theory, or CRT.
We do not want our children to be taught that America is systemically racist.
600,000 people died in the Civil War to end racism and slavery. Don't rewrite factual history or indoctrinate, just present the facts.
Oh, racism ended in 1865? I didn't realize that. Hey everyone, guess what? Racism is over.
The thing is, it ends today. You know, I thought my legacy as acting manager was going to be the new forklift pallet clamp, but turns out it's racial justice, so.
The thing is, critical race theory isn't being taught here, but that didn't stop dozens of parents from flooding a recent school board meeting to protest it.
Yep, it's not really being taught anywhere except for law schools, but people are up in arms about it.
It basically states that white people are born with everything, and if you're not white, you're born with nothing.
Can you name any critical race theory scholars?
Probably not.
Can you name any critical race theory concepts?
I don't know what the concepts are. I think I summarized critical race theory as a whole pretty well.
Because it's just another talking point that conservatives like to use to get people angry, like cancel culture.
But in today's culture, just a simple social media post from years ago can prevent you from getting a job. Is that fair?
Tonight, Denver 7's Russell Haythorne goes 360 on the rise of what's being referred to as cancel culture.
We got rid of Aunt Jemima, we got rid of Uncle Ben's, but I am wildly triggered by the brands and the photos that I see in this grocery store. Using a polar bear to sell your ice cream, Klondike. Did you know polar bears were extinct?
Endangered. They're endangered.
No thank you. Canceled. Paw Patrol mac and cheese. Listen, defund the police, defund Paw Patrol.
There are too many flags. If flag wave at me, I have to wave back or I am canceled by culture. Free speech, not no more, costs $17. Just jesting. I'm kidding you all.
Jack Frost nipping at your toes.
Stop.
And folks dressed up like Eskimos. In 2020, really?
That's a recipe for cancellation.
100, you mean they're dressed up for fun? You mean somebody's way of life?
Yeah, can you even say Eskimo?
I mean, Eskimo isn't really the preferred term, and it is kind of an outdated line.
Redenbacher, look at this guy. He definitely made some mistakes in his past. You want to cancel him? We can if we want. I'll look up some mistakes that he made in his past, and we can cancel him. I need to appease my white guilt by virtue signaling on the internet.
This guy hates cancel culture. I wonder why that is.
Now, this is what we know about an investigation published by Christian publication Charisma News. John Chris apologized for this sexual misconduct. The report says that there were at least 5 women who came forward so far. Some allege he requested sexual favors in exchange for tickets. They also claimed he used his fame to initiate sexual relationships with married women.
Right. It's consequence culture he hates, even though he still has a huge following. I've had a few relatives lose their jobs the last couple years, and when you ask what happened, the response is something like, you just can't say anything anymore. Really? You can't say anything anymore?
I am the boss, and apparently I can't say anything.
Well, that's true in a way. You can't say anything.
Or perhaps the most racist and homophobic relatives I have, who I avoid seeing at all costs because they are racist and homophobic, didn't just say anything, but something really awful.
It was a joke, okay? Oh, you don't understand humor?
And it's a two-way street. Like when conservatives freaked out that they were canceling the Muppets because there was a warning on some episodes.
Well, another cultural icon taking fire. This time it's the one and only Muppet Show. The Disney Plus streaming service has begun offering the series and is including a disclaimer warning of, quote, offensive content. It says this program includes negative depictions and or mistreatment of people or cultures.
But then they tried to cancel Big Bird because he got a vaccine.
Now, Senator Cruz came right out at that, calling it government propaganda. Cruz is back out today going after a photo that circulated of Big Bird with Hillary Clinton, who he dubs Oscar the Grouch. And this isn't just one angry senator. It's getting the usual amplification in right-wing media.
The truth is, if that show was real, Big Bird would be shamed right now for not having his vaccination yet.
Well, I feel okay. My wing hurts a little bit, but that's okay. I was scared, but it did go by really quickly.
Or they said that Dr. Seuss was being canceled.
Dr. Seuss's books are classics of children's literature. He's the greatest children's author for kids who are under the age of 7 of all time. It is not close. I read Dr. Seuss books to my kids pretty much every day.
Wait, sorry, this can't be this man's real voice. Sorry, everyone, there has to be something wrong with the settings. Oh, there we go. I think I fixed it.
Okay, but according to a Virginia school district, Dr. Seuss's birthday can no longer be touted on Read Across America Day.
Okay, that's better. Sorry for the confusion.
Because a study said the author's work is, quote, filled with Orientalism, anti-blackness, and white supremacy.
Even though it was the family of Dr. Seuss who decided to stop publishing the 6 books to protect his legacy, and there was in no way a cancellation. And even though a couple years earlier they tried to cancel him because of the Lorax teaching about conservation.
There's the Lorax, an adaptation of the classic Dr. Seuss children's book. The movie, set to be released nationwide next month, is about a woodland creature who speaks for the trees and fights rampant industrialism. Universal Pictures also promoting the movie, partnering with companies to push eco-friendly products. So where have we all heard this before? Occupy Wall Street forever trying to pit the makers against the takers, and President Obama repeating that everyone should pay their fair share in dozens of speeches since his State of the Union address.
But again, this is a fake issue that is designed to make people angry and join their cause and take away from you enjoying your aunt's delicious cranberry sauce and getting so upset that you forget to ask for the recipe.
Ah, cranberry sauce a la Bart.
But let's circle back to that Christ and Christmas thing.
This is what Christmas really means to me. Ho, 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 ho.
Remember to keep Christ in Christmas. A message from...
Because it's not just about the war on Christmas, and it's not just about ruining Santa for your kids. There's also the issue of saving your soul. Certain family members, if they know there is a non-believer in the house, will make sure they steer that conversation.
I say we open up this party to all faiths. I brought my Star of Bethlehem, which led the wise men to the Savior of all mankind, and you guys can bring a little trinket or doodad from your philosophies. Sounds good?
If it's your house and you're providing the hospitality and you're providing most of the meal, then it's not at all presumptuous to pause at the beginning of the meal and say something about the meaning of Christmas for you. There are all kinds of things you can do. If it's just before the meal, it can't be long, of course. Everything's going to get cold. You might sing a familiar carol that even unbelievers know, and that maybe you print it out for everybody, lay it on their plate, and then you pray at the end, and you give thanks in your own prayer for what Christmas means for you, and that's it.
Joy to the world, the Lord is come. The Lord, the Lord, the Lord. Hello. Oh, is this your Hanukkah holder?
It can be a mini sermon at the beginning of the meal, a conversation between two other people that is obviously directed at you, or an actual confrontation where they challenge what you believe or don't believe.
Oh, look, Britta brought what she believes in. Nothing.
This is the easiest ask of the year. There's no easier time to ask people, but that's not saying you might not get rejected. They might object, but actually you might uncover a lot of spiritual hunger. And it's the easiest time in the year for them to say, okay, I'll come along to something.
Don't lose Christ this Christmas. How long have you been without him? Mary was without him 3 days. How long have you been without him? 3 days, 3 weeks, 3 months, 3 years? How long? I'm saying to you today that you'll find him where you lost him. Where did the prodigal son find the father? Right where he left him.
Also, if you lost him, retrace your steps and always check between the couch cushions. But seriously, what I touched on here is just a small part about why this one meal or this one visit can be such a stressful time. And there might be some things you can do. You can try to set expectations ahead of time. Let your family know that this isn't the time to talk about politics or to try to convert you. I'd say ask that there will be no discussions about politics or religion, but that really depends on how religious your family is. I know with some of my family members, religion is what they know and who they are, and they are going to talk about it, just like I will be quoting Anchorman because it's what I know.
Hey! Where did you get those clothes? At the toilet store?
But when it's aimed at you, politely ask to change the subject, or say you don't want to engage in this conversation and stick to it. When the comments start about who you are, what you look like, what your job is, etc., be clear about what you are comfortable talking about and what you are comfortable being talked about. A few years ago, I had to walk out of a family member's wedding reception for a while because I could not take any more jokes from any more family members about me being single. And ever since then, I just don't take it. I set up boundaries and I let people know that this is who I am. People are different, and my difference isn't a joke. It's just different.
Oh, you always get so worked up around Christmas.
No, actually, it's not Christmas's fault. Let's not blame Jesus.
I've seen other family members pestered about when they're going to have kids or more kids, and they had to set up those boundaries too by saying that is our decision and none of your business. If you're going with your partner, maybe work out a signal ahead of time for when you were feeling uncomfortable, or maybe when you need to step out for a bit, or even when you need to call it a night.
You'll have to excuse me. Thank you. This has all been horrible.
And sometimes there will be people who just won't respect your boundaries. And you may have to have a very serious conversation with them.
Do you want to know why we don't come home for the holidays anymore? It's because of you. You constantly criticize my family. I am not a good enough cook. I don't clean well enough. Jack doesn't provide.
And you may have to draw lines and say, I can't do holidays anymore if this is how it affects my mental health.
This happened to me last year and almost wrecked my Christmas.
Maybe just do a friend Christmas once in a while. Blood family isn't the only family. Also, if someone is being racist or homophobic, I'm cool with you telling them to shut up.
I'm sick of everybody acting like all black people have it worse than white people. Like, look at Will Smith. His life is way better than mine, and our debut albums came out the same year.
It's all nuanced, and I don't have all the answers, but your mental health is important, and you are important, no matter what time of year it is. Thanks for making it this far. If you know someone who might benefit from it, as always, send it their way. And you have yourself a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Season's Greetings, Happy Hanukkah, all the other holidays. New Year's is one that you can celebrate, and down the line, you got other ones. Have a great time. Love you. Bye.
Merry Christmas, you filthy animal.
Work, 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 Sky Moon.